we're going to start with Anthony Stolarz and Sam Bennett, but I want to quickly mention, shout out off the top, I am doing the watch along for the Oilers Vegas Golden Knights series. So speaking of not being out of it ever, the Edmonton Oilers, who are never out of it. Why are we I don't know why you were applauding this. I don't think
we were applauding you and your watch along.
Yeah.
Well,
that's when we started clapping.
I appreciate
Let's
that.
go, friend.
Oh, that's nice. Wow.
Yeah.
This is great. Okay.
No, it should be fun. Like, that series, I think, is going to be like a wagon. It's just going to be back and forth, and we'll have a lot of exciting moments. It won't be as contentious as what we're about to talk about in terms of the physicality and the suspensions. It's not going to be like this level. I think
I don't think there's a Sam Bennett on either of those two teams.
You think it's going to surpass what happened last night?
Not surpass.
That's all I'm trying to say.
But it might rival it.
It's not that deep.
Might rival it.
Barbashev versus Kane.
You know what? I've decided it will surpass
it.
All right. That's what I've decided.
You know what? It's important when you're wrong, never to admit it. You must double down. Never apologize. Never ever admit you're wrong. You just double down on it.
Bunch of people who didn't know who Chris Nowitzki was before yesterday. He is now my entire personality.
Hey guys, I've interviewed Chris Nowitzki, so do know him. Oh, thank you, Maddie, for the applause.
Well, and
it's through via Alan Walsh.
Yeah, and noted huge fan of head trauma.
Yeah, loves it. Loves head trauma.
Yeah, he's your guy for sure. I mean, if you're dumb, you would definitely think he's your guy.
So
if you're dumb and exhausting.
So let's just talk about the play.
Yeah.
We'll start the play. Jesse, I sent you a screen grab of one of the best solo shots I've seen of it. The clearest shot that you can see. Now, it's important to understand, and people are making the argument here, that Anthony Stolarz took a slap shot to the head earlier in the period. And at that time exhibited no issues. And it wasn't until the Sam Bennett hit to the head.
Not according to Chris Nowitzki.
Okay, well, he was shaking his head.
It's valid.
Yeah.
Like, that's what everyone's screaming at their windshield right now.
He was shaking his head.
He said he shook his head. Now, what I would take issue with there is every goalie does that all of the time.
Yes. I saw Patrick Waugh do that 40 times between whistles.
Yeah.
He was like a head twitchy guy.
He might be right, but to say that definitively is, I think, dangerous.
Okay.
And that's not a science thing. You don't need to be a scientist to be like, goalies shake their head a lot. You know what I mean? And it very well could be possible that Stolarz got concussed from that slap shot. What everyone is willfully, no one's this stupid, they're willfully ignoring from the initial Chris Nowitzki post is he said, I think he suffered a first concussion from this. First, specifying first as in to say there was probably more than one.
Where do you think the second one came from?
I think it was probably the blow to the head from Sam Bennett.
So, Jesse, can we bring that blow to the head up?
I was going to bring up the shot to the face.
Oh, you can bring up the shot to the face, sure. Let's bring it up.
Here's the shot to the face. So
knocks his helmet off.
The mask getting smashed there.
Yep.
Which is like
not insignificant, I guess, but
it's not insignificant. It's fairly common.
That happens regularly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing that I thought was lost in the arguments about this starting the whole thing is that goalies often will direct pucks with their mask. Like
some goalies practice.
they like doing that. Yeah, who's the goalie who does it in warm-ups? At the end of warm-ups, he takes a couple off.
Wasn't it Sammy? Wasn't it Ilya
Sammy?
Samsonov?
Yeah.
I know Casimir Kaskisuo used to do it, and I want to say Henrik Lundqvist. I'd be interested to hear his take on that. Like, wow, I used to do that all the time.
Yeah. I don't think the goalie mask is something that we should be too concerned about.
Listen, it could have dinged him.
Right.
It could have, but he stayed in the game. Maybe shouldn't have. But like, what is annoying about that is what concussion spotter has ever taken a goalie out of a game for taking a shot off the mask?
Yeah. And there's never been, like, he wasn't displaying any evidence that he was concussed after taking that puck off the mask.
Other than the shake, which is shaky.
I think it was totally normal to shake your head after you take your helmet
Especially when
off.
you're adjusting to putting helmet back on.
Yeah. And I don't want to argue with the concussion specialist here in Chris Nowitzki, but that seemed like a totally normal athlete thing to do.
It's valid to point out that that's something that people do when they get a concussion, and it's valid to point out that Goalies do that all the time.
Dude,
I do it on a rainy day.
I think the correct answer is we don't know.
No,
and
of course we don't.
To definitively say either way, you're lying to yourself.
Well, and they're lying to themselves by the thousands because that one single tweet from someone who they didn't know was alive or dead before he posted that. Everyone has made that their entire personality today to excuse the behavior, the repeated, consistent behavior of their dirty favorite player.
Mm-hmm. So this is the Bennett play here. Here's the stop motion of it. He gets right in there.
Yeah, and Stolarz did, again, stay in the game, but he went down. He was rocked from this. And I said Stolarz didn't leave the game until after this, and someone pointed out, actually, it was 8 minutes after, and I'm like, holy shit, you are going to lose your mind when you Google the word after. When you learn what that word means, AFTER, let me tell you, you are going to have a Tuesday. You are going to lose your mind and soil yourself.
So what happens then is, Anthony Stolarz 8 minutes later, after, you might say. I don't want to work.
No, for the audience, what does after mean?
Do you want me to Google it?
Yeah, please do.
Define
après
after.
in French for the French audience.
In the time following.
Oh,
during the period of time following an event.
You got to be more specific. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So we have, you can see it again up on the screen there, this hit. And listen, we now know that Sam Bennett, it hasn't been officially announced yet, but it's leaked out this morning because NHL player safety has sources in the media.
And they won't announce no suspension.
Yeah,
so the fact that there's just nothing means it's confirmed that there is nothing.
Right. And normally we would have heard, around like 12:30, 1 o'clock. It's about 11:30 in the morning when we're recording this. That there would have been a hearing, right? And normally you hear nothing. But what they do is they leak it out to the insiders, so it softens the blow, so that later on, people have forgotten about it, and we've got 3 games tonight, and let's talk about that. So that's not going to happen. The Leafs organization, according to Pierre LeBrun, is like, okay, fine, we're going to move on. And I think that's
all you can do.
That's the right approach.
It's all you can do.
You're not going to focus on taking out Sam Bennett. You're not going to focus on, oh man, oopsie, there goes Bobrovsky's face. We're not going to do any of that. We're just going to move on to game 2 and focus on getting our goalie who hadn't played in 18 days up to snuff and ready to go.
He didn't even get a warm-up.
No, and should have gotten a warm-up.
I know what the rule is. It's stupid.
And beyond all that, I think that Sam Bennett talking about
This is a stupid rule. The Leafs had the lead, for God's sake. What are you doing? Anyway.
So Chris was one of the guys that interviewed Sam Bennett today. And,
Chris Johnston.
Yeah. CJ, cute journalist. And he said Bennett said, from my point of view, I'm just taking the puck to the net. He said he was sorry to hear the Leafs goalie had to go to hospital. He said they were friends.
I'll just play it.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Jonesy was kind of bang play in front of the net last night. Just with that, I know you and Stoli are good friends. Just have to help us to see kind of how everything unfolded from there on out. From your
softball.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I heard that he went to the hospital last night, and Stoli's a good friend of mine. I reached out to him. He responded, and obviously never want to see an injury like that. But from my point of view, I'm just taking the puck to the net. I didn't even know that we made contact until after, and
I don't believe.
I mean, I'm on the power play. I'm trying to score. I'm taking the puck to the net, and that's really all there was to it.
So,
man, he's tired of answering these questions about his behavior.
Paul Maurice said this. He said, I've seen every hit Sam Bennett's ever thrown since he was 12 on TV this morning.
Oh, fart. I don't even want to hear the end.
I
don't even want to hear the end.
Yeah, well, you have to. Paul Maurice also said, most of this for me is tempered by the fact that Stoli is one of our guys. We love that guy. If I thought that Sam crossed the line or an edge, I'd probably be more careful with my words. I just didn't think it happened. Now, my question to
Coach
these guys
defends
is,
his guy. Yawn.
My question to these guys is, what if he wasn't your friend? Are you coming out with, like, guns blazing?
Yeah.
Like, is that what you do? Who cares that he's your friend?
Well, I'd love to hear Stolarz talk about it, but he's in hospital, so
right.
He's out of hospital now.
He is.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Good. I'm glad. No, like that stuff about Nick Cousins, Stolarz, and Cousins are buddies. Like he flipped the puck at them, but they're buddies. Like, I don't know. They were teammates. You don't know that they were buddies.
Right. And Max Pacioretty.
You like all your coworkers?
Max Pacioretty spoke on that in that when you are on the ice with your opponent, no matter who it is, that you want to kill that person.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And he said that before, what was it, game 5? I think it was in Toronto. And he said, like, that's just the case going to these playoff games. It doesn't matter if that's your friend or not. It's just, and he doesn't have to get up for any game because he knows just when he's on the ice, he wants to kill the opponent. He doesn't care who it is. And I think everybody who's on the ice looks at it that way. And Sam Bennett does. Like, he doesn't know in that moment that it's his friend.
He's taking out the goalie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm supposed to believe Matthew Tkachuk's teammate that there's no ill intent, all that nonsense at the end of the game. I'm supposed to believe
Marner? The stuff on Marner?
Yeah, I'm supposed to believe prison rules Paul and his gaggle of goons. Like, I just don't believe them.
And
I don't care.
This is where I want to transition, because whether or not anything was going to be done about this, Sam Bennett has a reputation, always has a reputation, deserves every bit of that reputation. Yes. And of course, when he does something like this, it's going to be under the microscope even more.
They televise the games.
That's why they like him, is that he has this reputation.
Yeah.
Because not everybody is willing to do that.
No.
Not everybody can sleep after that.
I cannot believe, that's a great point, Adam. I cannot believe Daryl Sutter couldn't find a use for this player.
I know.
Daryl Sutter.
Daryl Sutter had him on the 4th line.
Or healthy scratch.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Every time I see Sam Bennett play, I'm like, Daryl Sutter couldn't use him.
They also had Matthew Tkachuk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And both got better.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Could it be because the coach sucked in Calgary?
Dude. Bennett, I mean, Tkachuk was always a great player. Like, the Bennett improvement was so sharp.
You can see why Treliving never wanted Sutter, and he had it forced on him. Like, that was all Don Maloney. And anyway,